faked a following. Down there, the 3 cars at the end. I think that's the druggy gang. They just for hours sitting there drugging up. Now, see, why have I called my series of videos Purpose? Because I'm interested in the following. I could have faked this, but walking into the sun, of course, one needs the light. But this is literally all I care about. But I got good stories around this subject, which is a month ago, 3 weeks ago, twisted my knee a bit. It still hurts, but that I think is basically on top of the fact that I was sitting cross-legged too much in the front of the cab. And it does hurt, but it hurts. I go for a 2-mile walk and it's better. That's all that matters. All of the moaning, all of the, oh, I've got to have a specials. I mean, these round places like this, you see everywhere, guys and women, special expensive surgical scraps. You just gotta, anyway, you might not be able to afford them. You might have crises. You might have divorces. You might end up having a lover who's a nutcase and such a brilliant actress. We've known one of them. That you've no idea. So get used to moving your body, keeping it going by loads of walking, ideally not on hard pathways. I've been told there's somewhere inland where there's pathways. Much better walking on soft ground. That's the purpose. That's the somehow rolling that out. Stories from the past, but also being in developing situations where you always find the silver lining, even in something horrible. I think I got the world record on that with the video made yesterday. But it's real. I can't lie. Because then any video I make, it's like there's emails, there's somebody gets the odd email still, he probably doesn't read them. There's emails, I'm always writing things in my notepads. I don't want my child, if she's going through them in 20 years, was my dad a complete and utter nutter? I don't want her to, I don't care for myself, I care for her. I don't want any inconsistency to be in there because I'm constant. I should find a way to take the hedgehog for walks. I could. Anyway, purpose. Purpose is somehow keeping this body going even through the toughest possible times. Not moaning. No one can help you. No one in Britain will help you, really. Okay, if you're lucky enough to have a good, solid, long-term love partner, you might find that augments the situation. But keeping yourself going, always. And I can't stand Iron Man kind of material. It doesn't work anyway. It's a cheap thrill, it's a cheap, quick buzz. It's all about stoicism. I know that's a dull word, but that's what it's about, stoicism. But finding stoicism, I don't think the Greeks did this very well. It's not a case I'm good at presenting the stories. I've done it, I've lived it. Living, experiencing, actually the silver linings in everything being genuinely embodied, genuinely coming up through your body-mind mix, and realising, it's all somehow bizarrely. And it's not looking at it from a kind of absurd, candide kind of way as a fool, no. I'm the exact opposite. I'm a real rationalist. So maybe that is the argument. Maybe there is. Maybe that out there. Well, that's not the real sublime. But looking down there and seeing this beautiful natural, ignoring the 4,000 quid a week whatnots, grander Polish version. Something, it's got, but it's movement as well. That's the thing I realised over the last 10 years. The fact that the body can move, okay, there's a few that can't, but the body can move, we can power on. Or we can just glide on, because I don't ever overly exert myself. Telling stories that are engaging to enable people. And it all comes down to the book that I read, For the Love of the Sun. Miriam. You gotta tell the real shit as well. And that kind of helps people get up. Perhaps they're thinking, yeah, I still think. I wrote to her. Miriam. Did she briefly reply? I thought she did. Yeah, it's like, what next? What next? That's the problem with your modern self-help manual. It's dead. Someone's just basically preaching orders at you. No, there's got to be, there's something left. There's a question left unanswered. What's going to happen? Well, see, I'm the lucky one. Something bad can happen to me. Long ago, I internalised a worst conceivable, fairly likely ending to my own bloodline, cliffs, or some other variant. Not me, but every single thing I've played through in my head. No, nothing's gonna, it's impossible. Nothing could ever floor me, ever. Except, of course, if some natural bodily stop happens, I wouldn't fight it angrily. If I can, I will keep on walking through this, or somehow moving, because that's the key. Ralph walks on. Just fine. And I'm sounding so cheesy, but somehow I want to write this in a proper way. I want to write this. I don't care if anybody ever reads it. I know I can present it or write it or communicate it, transmit it in a more soulful, engaging way. But I haven't had the time because I've still been just open. It's about I've been allowed myself, okay, maybe the woman I met up there wants to take it forward. And it was left. She will phone me. I dropped a line into her work as well, checking she was all right. That's what goes. I've no idea. I don't want to go on about that. Yeah, but also a group of younger people who've engaged. Absolutely, they want some guidance, putting together and connecting. But in Britain, oh man, I've given up doing that now. I can't do that now. I need a woman to be a mother hen. Even if I'm doing the work for her, hey, I'll get these three together. You've got to be there. You've got to be there. It's not somewhere that's safe for middle-aged men to be actually alone with anybody unless they're your love partner. Simple as that. The most lonely, fucked up society I actually do think it's worse than America now. I'd almost rather be in Rwanda, and that's the point. This ultra, like confected. It's not confected. It's the business of. I mean, I've written this or said this or whatever. Past area that I lived, a quarter of it the poorest, right down there with the poorest people in the country. A quarter of the people, none of the poor people in West Herefordshire could afford the bus to London. Never mind the large amounts of money, relatively, that people have had to pay for people smugglers over to Calais, the jungle, or whatever it's called, or whatever. They've had to pay a lot of money to get over there. Most of those people are someone who's chosen within the family. You make the journey, blah blah blah, and then send us back money. Sorry, a quarter of the people in West Herefordshire would not be able to afford the bus. Never mind the people smuggling lorries, etc., across from Syria. That's all terribly contentious. I feel sorry for them because I know that you have more real community, fellowship, brotherly and sisterly love in the jungle refugee camps of Calais or whatever, wherever they're having to congregate. This is weird. Normally there are a few people walking along here. Not tonight. Because I don't like having my camera out with people. I mean, how bloody beautiful is that? That is the sublime, but you have to add in, as the Polish version, perhaps, or maybe there are other versions in other people's parlance. Surely this beauty tells you we need to be good. Being good to refugees, like coming across the sea, is saying, don't. For your own sake, we are so sour. There is so little community. There is only fakery. What you've seen on your televisions is not true. You will have more kindness and fellowship, not from the aid workers who go over and patronise and do it to look good. Because if they cared about these people, they would actually tell them the truth of Britain. See, think twice before coming here. You could be staying somewhere, and if there's a pandemic or whatever, your neighbour will enjoy causing you problems, dobbing you in if you don't quite have the behaviour that often artificial guidelines state. No? But putting that aside, because even that's contentious, but if you've got a problem with your kids, no one's going to help you here, because they're not. No white fucker's going to help you. That's the reality, and that's what, if I went over to Calais, that's what I'd be saying. I already have said it to enough brown people over there. Yeah, but the truth of all of that is the most ambitious, most pushy, most type A personalities are the ones generally who find their way over, and of course they're not going to listen, because the humble, ordinary person will have stayed back home and just about knuckled down and managed to. Anyway, it's just so, it's not complicated, it's so straightforward, but it's not false victimhood, it's making out that people are it's patronising people. Most of the people that get halfway across that channel are intelligent and ambitious enough to, if they were told the truth, they'd take it in. The truth is, we have a truly, truly, truly dystopian wasteland of a non-society. That's the truth. And nobody will ever do anything about the environment, because you speak with people and they want to complicate it. They want to stamp the, but I know better. And a guy I had that conversation 3 days ago at the cop. A guy I know better. No, he's being seen to be doing something. Well, he's not doing the standard legal route that several individuals have put through county councils that are almost a loophole to improve and save rivers. No, they want to do it in their own special. It's all about, that's their identity. My identity is I'm the guy that's doing something, and they're not actually doing anything. They're being seen, they're advertising themselves as the person that's the person who's known as the person who's doing something. But they're not. Not at all. There we go. End of. Let's have a few more of these, please, because we've had a pretty shitty summer and the bugs need some food. The end.